Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of DadVGirls After Hours, episode 39.
Yay! Whoop whoop! Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a subscribe? Can I get a like? Can I get a thumbs up? Can I get a 5-star?
Can you get a grip? Bloody hell.
This is me making the effort.
Making the effort?
Because I don't know what to say and you always say, I always say, I don't know, you don't know what you're saying.
Yeah. Guys, subscribe.
So here I am, still not knowing what to say.
We're trying to hit 100k. Do you know what? When we hit 100k, we'll get Sarah to stop asking people to subscribe. That's the reward. What? That's the incentive.
They like me saying it.
Yeah, to be fair, all the comments are, I only subscribe because Sarah said...
Thanks, guys.
Do you know what? People just love you. Do you know? I don't
know why.
I've seen comments like, "Can it just be Sarah's podcast?" Like I've literally seen comments like that. I'm like,
wait. Can we talk about one comment that you said has been going on for the last however many years? How many years?
I don't know, what is it?
Can we please put Sarah in a box wearing jeans and guncha?
Okay. No. So there's this one person, yeah. Okay, and I sent this to her the other day. Okay, so. A few years ago, we did this. It's called the 100-button box challenge. Like loads of YouTubers were doing it. It's like a trend. You build a box. You got loads of buttons. You have to hit a button, and something comes out the top of the. Like could be baked beans on your head or whatever. And I can't remember who did it, but it was me and Casey.
Yeah, versus Roland and Gray. Like it was like a.
Yeah, but you were pouring the stuff in. You didn't actually get gunged. So there's this person. I don't know. Like their profile's like. Private, like there's this one man or boy who clearly has some crush on Sarah, but he also has some kind of weird fetish, right? Because since we did that video, he messages me all the time saying, can you please get Sarah to do the 100-button challenge, but can she be wearing jeans? And I'm like, I think Sarah really needs to get messy, but she should be wearing jeans. And I'm like, you obviously have some weird fetish about Sarah being covered in baked beans wearing jeans.
No one comes with jeans, guys. Like
why jeans? That's so... Because the thing is, like, when I first read it, I was like, oh. But then when I saw the jeans, I thought, no, that is a bit unhinged, right? And then he literally... We filmed that video like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
He literally commented it that, again, the other day. I sent it to you. I was like, by the way, this has been going on for about 3 years now.
I started following him on Instagram. He's great.
She's sending him pictures in jeans with baked beans. But yeah. So anyway, that video is not going to be coming soon. So
absolutely not. Sorry about that.
Maybe on Sarah's OF.
No, I do not. Don't even put that out there that I do that.
Messy Sarah.
Told you.
So yeah. Okay, this is going off on a weird tangent.
This is really weird. I don't. Unless you want me to. Unless there's like a fan base for it. I mean...
There's at least one person in this fan base who's really into it.
Sarah's only fans in jeans. No, sorry, absolutely not.
So anyway, I'm still in a lot of pain. So just before we started filming,
oh gosh,
the mic stand fell, and I went to catch it, and I caught my.
Oh wait, your finger is actually really red.
You won't believe me. I was literally.
Oh, look at the size of it. Is that swelling, or is that just
swollen?
The size of your... Oh no, it's the size of your fingers. Oh. Jake, no, Jake, it is.
Brilliant.
It's slightly swollen. It is actually slightly
It is swollen already. The thing is, I went to catch it. I caught my finger in it, and it fell over. And it's like I was literally breathing through the pain, but I was like, I don't think anyone understands how painful this is.
No.
But anyway, so we had Grace's birthday party.
Yeah, sorry everyone. There were so many comments that I was saying, or you. I don't know if it was you, me, but we said about Chloe's 17th. Obviously, I meant Grace. For some reason, I always get those two muddled up. I call Chloe Grace. Great.
Of all the kids to muddle up,
they do.
Those two wouldn't.
I don't know why, but there's something about Chloe that reminds me of Grace.
Really?
Yeah, that she...
What?
I don't know.
No, I don't see it.
I think if her features were darker hair, darker skin...
So if she looked like Grace, you'd think she looked like Grace? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? I think if she looked more like Grace, she'd really...
No, there is something about her that I don't know what it is, because it's not her behaviour, because Grace was like always so good and quiet, but I don't know.
But yeah, when you got 5 kids, it's a lot easier to like mix up their names. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't know, that one, the one with the glasses.
Even my mum was like, you were calling Grace Chloe, and I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. But yeah,
it is.
All the time.
Yeah, it's
you all knew who I meant.
I'm like the little one. Or like Sophie, I'm like, the one with the glasses, like that one. Like, what's your name? But no, more like, so I mix up Chloe and Maddie because they do actually look like twins born a few years apart. It's actually mad.
But yeah, Grace's birthday party. Obviously,
which we didn't vlog, by the way.
We didn't vlog, no. Again, Grace doesn't really enjoy the vlog side of things for her birthday, so respectfully we
did vlog last year because we did like this whole, like we set up the house as like a Halloween party.
Yeah, there was more of a setup.
There was like more to film, but like Grace is like, she's a bit more embarrassed of us at the parties, whereas Casey's like,
this
she doesn't
year
mind
she told
us.
me I don't want anything there, no balloons, no, like literally nothing.
She's very specific.
3 days before the party she's like, actually I'd like a photo booth. I'm like,
brilliant.
Okay. Thankfully I knew people that had one. I was like, can I please book your photo booth? Managed to get her one because lastminute.com. And then on the day she was like, I actually would like a balloon. So rushing out getting
balloon?
a 1 and a 17.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, I'm like, really?
I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's Grace.
And we weren't allowed in the room either. She's like, I don't want you. Whereas Casey's like, allows me to be like on the dance floor with her, like dancing. But Grace was like, no, you can't be in the...
Grace is a bit more embarrassed.
Can't be in the kitchen, go upstairs. So we'd
said in a previous podcast, I believe, that we were like debating whether or not to let Grace have the party because her friends are a little bit more wild than Casey's friends.
We've not long just had all the house painted and like the downstairs. Obviously we didn't do it upstairs, but we just had it decorated. So I was a bit more nervous because of last year the friends got a little bit carried away and were ruining some of the decorations just by not being malicious, but like just not being aware. So I was a bit nervous. So it was actually you and Grace that talked me into doing it. I think when you say we weren't sure, it's like I was a no, you was a yes.
No, but the thing is, I always, obviously we know I'm the soft parent, right? I feel bad because I'm like, I don't want to be the one to be like, no, you can't have a party in case your friends are like this. I'm kind of like, because we always let Casey have parties. So I'm like, okay. I was trying to talk to Grace about it. I was like, right, how many people come? She's like, 58 people.
58 people in my kitchen.
Who are these people? And she's like, oh, you want me to name them one by one? I went, no, like, I don't mean every single person, but like, who are they? Like, I haven't met 58 of your friends. Like, are they actual close friends? Are they people you've known a long time? She's like, yeah, they're all like close friends. I'm like, any people from college? She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you've only been at college about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So they can't be that close. And then, anyway.
Yeah, so the party kicks off and it's going great, fine, having a great time. I mean, their singing was quite high pitched and quite screamy, but fine, we're upstairs. And then the ring doorbell goes and Joel sees someone leaving. So we're like, oh, we should probably just go check everything's okay. This is 10 o'clock. We come downstairs and there's a group of them on my stairs and I see Grace. We catch eye contact. She looks like she's going to be like about to cry. And I'm like, what's going on? You okay? I then look. The girl that has just left has gone to the top of my stairs and vomited the whole way down on my freshly clean carpet that's just been cleaned and the walls that have just been painted. Orange, sick, everywhere. Like when I say top to bottom,
literally, she must have stood at the top and projectile vomited down
I think she's
upstairs.
walked and she's vomited. I don't think it's a one because it was... And these kids, bless them, are trying to clear it up but without me seeing. Without gloves or nothing, they're scooping up the sick.
But they're cleaning it with toilet tissue
Yeah, but
paper.
first of all, they were scooping the bits, which you said looked like Chinese.
No. So basically they were scrubbing the floor with like tissue paper. So it was just breaking into tiny little balls of tissue. And it was so grim.
And they'd squeeze washing up liquid as well.
There's like washing up liquid everywhere.
Blue or green washing
And we were like, no, we really appreciate that you're trying to clean it up. Because the girl had done it, is left. But we were like, please put it down, go and wash your hands and just go and enjoy the party. Yeah. I then cleaned up the sick and I instantly could tell that this girl had Chinese for dinner. Like, I'm not joking. Like, it was like, I mean, I could probably tell you exactly what she had off the menu. She had a number 39. She had an egg fried rice. Like, it was so strong.
Yeah. So we now need to have...
Weirdly made me hungry.
And clean the carpet and paint the walls again.
But also, we went in the kitchen and there's like a broken vodka bottle on the side. There's like just puddles of drink being spilt. There was like... I saw this boy in the Ring doorbell. He went outside, locked himself out, And then he just started shaking like grabbing the door handles from the outside and shaking the doors. Like, what is that going to do? You're not going to get in like that. You're just going to break my handles. And then some other boys shouted at him like, what are you doing? Just knock on the door like a normal person. I was like, thank you. But yeah, so other than that, it was fine. And she did have a good time.
Yeah, so from then I just thought, okay, I'm just going to stay downstairs. Like, I'm not going to go upstairs. So I was constantly just tidying.
But last year, someone threw up in the sink, which
in the kitchen,
was kind of gross.
In the kitchen, yeah.
The kitchen sink. But I'm like, also like, of all the places, right? There's all the hard floor downstairs, no carpet. There's all of outside.
There's all my lovely my lovely wooden floor you could just choose to be sick on.
Yeah, go for it. Not on the one place you're not allowed upstairs, and that's the place where you decide to chunder funder all over the freaking carpet. But yeah.
Yeah.
And
the fact that I had to wash it the next day.
The boys were all taking the boys were all taking pisses out behind the shed.
Weeing up the garden. I'm like, why? Why are you doing it? Like, it's a
toilet.
We're letting you in the house. Like, feral. They were feral. They were pretty wild. But
at one point I went downstairs because all I heard was screaming. I heard people just shouting and screaming. I literally went downstairs. I said to Grace, like, what's going on? She's like, what? I was like, I hear people screaming. She's like, no.
Oh, that was them singing.
And then I worked out it's them singing the lyrics to the songs. I was like, what? Like, it was so aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway.
It's just so it is so funny because I think Casey's friends just must be like the exception to the rule because she's got good friends that
Grace
Grace
has good friends, by the way.
No, yeah.
We do really like Grace's friends.
As in, like, in a party, like, if at her age, the only reason I'm so like that is because we were all kids once, and we know that when you're having a party and you've had a drink, the last thing you think about is, oh, I'm just going to put this bottle over in the bin rather than just leave it on the side. It is normal, but Casey's friends were always very respectful and would clean up, still having a good time, and it just never seemed to get out of hand. So I think in our heads we were like, oh, like we were probably the problems back in our age, and it's new generation of like they don't do that, and then Grace's parties are a little bit more wild.
But then you were a bit like almost as if like we shouldn't have had the party, but because you're almost like a bit like told you so. But then I was like, well, it weren't that bad. We managed to clean all the sick up, and there wasn't really any like major damage. So I'm kind of like, I'd rather like do the party and
we haven't
let her prove us wrong
to clean the carpet.
But I'd rather like let her have the party, prove us wrong, than us say you can't have the party and then her not be happy with us. That's kind of like my.
Yeah, I would have rather just have a nice tidy house.
No.
What I should have done is I should have done the party outside in like
a field.
Yeah.
Away from the house.
No, but like get like a gazebo, probably a gazebo and a portaloo, and just had it all outside and them not be in the house. Like I had that idea, but I had it too close to the actual party, so it wouldn't have happened.
It's all right. It's fine. I genuinely don't think it's really.
No, it's actually yeah. I was annoyed, obviously, but no, it's fine.
She's over it now.
Who, me or
you?
Yeah, I'm over it now.
Yeah, sure.
Well, kind of. But yeah, the other thing that's happened this week was, so I was at work, so I didn't get to do pickups for Chloe's school. So that evening, I checked my phone. I had a message from a mum at the school, private message on my phone, just being like, there was an incident today at school. It involved Chloe. My child was humiliated, very embarrassed, like.
Chloe made a joke and basically humiliated him in front of everyone.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, she's in bed at this point. So
she's asleep.
I go in and I go, Chloe, what has happened? She's like, what? I'm like, there was a situation at school. What's happened? The mum guilt, firstly, that I felt that I wasn't at school pickup, thinking this incident with the text, I won't go in depth of it, but the text seemed so bad. I was fearing the worst. Like, what the hell has Chloe done? Like, oh my goodness. And I needed to know, I've always said to the girls, like, tell me everything. Like, I can back you and I can be supportive, but you need to be honest and tell me everything. So I'm saying to her, what did you do? What did you say? And she went, oh, he was in wet leaves. And I just said, ooh. I'm like, no, that's not all you said. So then I'm like, the whole thing of the mum's texting me. I'm going to ask the school. There's cameras. I'll even see the camera, trying to get her to like tell me the truth. She's like, no, mummy, I just said, ooh. Like, I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. So I text the mum back and I'm like, look, can you tell me what was said? Like, and I was very nice. I was like, I'm really sorry this has happened. You know, like I'm not all for like my girls humiliating anyone. Like, I'm really sorry. This is Chloe's version of it. Like, can you please tell me what else has happened? Meanwhile, I'm ringing other mums to be like, do you know what happened today? Was it an incident that I'm not aware of?
The text was very, very dramatic.
Yeah, it was.
And the fact that it didn't actually say what Chloe said made us think it was like crazy what she said.
Because kids say things, right? So you don't normally message unless it is something severe. So I'm like, this is bad. So the mums are basically saying, oh, yeah, like what our kids say is that Chloe said, ooh, you've done a poo or something. So there was a little bit more to it than what Chloe had said. Chloe said the ooh, like, and she's saying, ooh, she's pooed. I'm like, what? This doesn't make sense. So then the mum texts me back being like, yes, sadly, Chloe said, you're disgusting, you've done a poo.
Because he had wet leaves on his bum.
Or on his feet. This is the other thing.
Okay.
It's feet or bum.
But
we don't know.
She was referring to the wet leaves.
So personally in this message, I'm still being very like, I'm really sorry. Like, I'll speak to Chloe. I believe there's always a lesson to be learned in everything. So my lesson to Chloe, the next day I was speaking to her, and my lesson to her is, some people you can joke with and some you can't. So if you make a joke, like you've gone, ooh, you've pooed, or that looks like poo, or however you've said it, they haven't laughed. You need to notice that, and you need to be, oh, I'm sorry, it was a joke. I didn't mean to upset you. You know, like that's the lesson.
You're still being very apologetic on Chloe's behalf, even though it's kind of like, doesn't feel so serious.
It doesn't feel very serious, but maybe it was. I don't know. So I'm like, okay. I then go into the WhatsApp group.
Guys, it is about to escalate.
I go into the WhatsApp group. There's 38 mums and dads on this group.
From Chloe's class.
From Chloe's class. And this mum has put in the group saying, there was an incident today at school and my child was very humiliated, very embarrassed. Can you all speak to your children to remind them they all need to be kind? I am not tolerating this. Blah, blah, blah. It was like, bad. Now, when I tell you this, like, all the mums were assuming the worst.
Because again, it didn't actually say what the incident involved, the joke. It didn't say the kids' names, right? But I was out, Sarah rang me and told me about this, and I was like, so fuming.
The point is that everyone's replying like, oh my gosh, yes, I'll speak to my child. I'm so sorry for such and such.
Like poor such and such.
I can't believe this happened to him today.
He's such a nice boy.
And then the mum's like, thank you all for your support. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So now I'm livid.
The thing is, right, that message was so unnecessary, and actually it was malicious, right? Because even though she did not mention Chloe's name, we all know what's going to happen, right? Every single parent in that group is going to be ringing all of their friends being like, what has happened? The gossip is going to go crazy. Yeah. They're going to be asking their kids what happened at school today, because she's asked them specifically to speak to every single one of their kids.
Now, my point in this that I was
keeping in mind that this incident involved 3 people.
Yeah.
The boy that was humiliated, Chloe that made the joke, and another girl who laughed.
And can I also say, like, so this incident that seems so bad, Chloe has a very strict teacher. She wasn't in trouble by the teacher. She hadn't been told off.
Because the teacher did get told.
Yeah. The boy actually wasn't very upset in school, is what I'd found out from all the other mums of the children that I talked to. But my point was, in this setting that really upset me, she has like a handful of friends that know Chloe well enough to know her character, right? We all know, everyone that watches the pod knows Chloe well enough that, yes, she's sassy and she can be difficult, but she's not malicious. She's not a horrible, nasty child. Like, she wouldn't want to upset anyone, right? So my point was, to the mums that know her, when they hear, oh, Chloe said it looks like poo, or however she said it, which what 6-year-old doesn't find poo funny? I mean, and then they can be like, oh, yeah, Chloe wouldn't have said that in a malicious way. But the 32 other parents that don't know Chloe or me or us well enough, that's tainted her name of being like, you could then think the worst of Chloe. And once that's in your head of a child being not a nice child.
But also, like, it's going to start Chinese whispers, because all these parents are going to ask their kids what has happened at school. What has happened at school with this kid? And the kids could just come out with like random stuff like that, and it all could spread and get worse. It could end up Chinese whispers to the point that Chloe said something wild and crazy, yeah. And so I'm like, that message was so intentional to be malicious, to basically, it was like revenge. It was like start gossip about Chloe. That is what it was. There's no, why would you need to speak to 38 children or whatever when there was 3 kids involved?
And also taking the point of like, okay, he may have felt that way, and I get that. Like the whole point of this isn't about it not being like the boy being humiliated.
No, because you've already apologized and you've had a private chat.
And that's why I'm saying, like, in the private chat I was very apologetic. I still, even with this whole situation, I still, the next day, even though I was livid, I still had words with Chloe, even to the point where she's like, Mum, why are you talking to me again about it? Because to her it wasn't even an issue, but I'm now making it an issue because I don't want her to make somebody feel like that at school. So the situation, before anyone thinks like,
yeah, of
this
course.
conversation
but anyway,
isn't about that, it's about the mum.
Then obviously Sarah did go back and reply, and what was your reply?
I can't even remember it. It was
okay, so
long.
I remember it. Okay, so basically, the reply was essentially like,
basically, I wanted everyone to know what the actual situation was.
Let's just cut the gossip and the rumors. Let's not need every parent ringing around asking their kids gossiping. So it's like, address exactly what happened. Okay, so the incident that this mum was talking about, this is in the group to everyone.
This is what was said. Bit, even though
Chloe said to so-and-so, you're discussing youth poo because he had wet leaves on a bum. Inappropriate joke by a 6-year-old. But what is even more inappropriate is this parent messaging in this group to 38 parents, of which, other than one other parent, none of them are involved. None of their kids are involved, asking them to go and talk to their kids. We all know that this is like, we all realise that is going to create massive curiosity to the point where every parent in here is now wondering what on earth has happened. It's going to start gossip, start rumours. That's obviously the intention of the message. That we've already spoke privately about it. There was literally no reason for this whatsoever other than to try and start gossip about Chloe. That is completely not on. Inappropriate for an adult to do that, and really disappointing.
Yeah.
More disappointed in this mum than I am in Chloe for making the joke, because it's way worse. So anyway, that was it. Then you left the group.
I left the group, and then I did have like mums message me to be like, you're right, like they thought the worst, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Is
the mums were messaging like,
the message
oh my
come
God,
across,
like,
they thought it was something so serious, and then when they worked out it wasn't, they were like, that shouldn't have been put on the group chat, like, you know. And that's the kind of, I left the group. I had mum's message to be like, yeah, we were talking about it afterwards because we were intrigued. So your message was so spot on. It was very nicely put. I wasn't nasty. I wasn't like, it wasn't confrontational. It was more facts. It was like,
yeah,
the facts. And everyone said it was really well written, but yeah.
And then one of the other mums who set up the group basically wrote like, this is not what this group is for. It is for like invitations for parties. It's like community.
Updates, yeah.
Like there's literally no need for this. So like, please don't do that anymore. And then we didn't hear anything more from the mum. We don't actually know the mum. I wouldn't even know who she was if we saw it in the playground. But and the other girl that was involved, she did the same thing, privately messaged that mum and had that mum in tears because she was not telling her what the incident was, but was making out it was so bad.
Yeah.
And she was like, basically, she's like terrorizing people.
Yeah.
Like, why not just come out straight away? First message, this is what's happened. Can you ask?
She was so thankful. She said to me, actually, we hadn't seen each other since it happened. So she actually saw me yesterday and was thanked me. She was like, for your message. She was like, I felt that was needed, but I didn't know how to word it.
Yeah,
I did actually say you worded it, because if I had worded it, it may have come across a bit more mean. So you did. You read it. You wrote it.
I made it had some slight editorial control over the message, but anyway.
I did add it. I added a bit more emotion. You're very facts, and I added a bit emotion of like the whole thing of like it just got to me. I'm like, please don't judge Chloe. Like, people that don't know her are now going to judge her on this, and it isn't fair. Like, and bearing in mind, so yes, it's not nice, but I'm like, I'm guilty. I made the exact same joke to the Chloe the week before. We'd gone for a walk in the woods with your family, and she trod in so much mud and gunk that all the the leaves were all under her thing. And I went, oh, it looks like you've trod in poo. And we laughed. She laughed.
Inappropriate.
She scraped.
Humiliated her.
And she scraped it on the thing, and we all laughed. Like, your brother and your sister were there, and we all just laughed. Like, so when
Honestly,
I said to her, imagine when I say to her, how would you feel if it was the other way around? She's like, yeah, you said the same thing to me. It's a joke. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry.
So recently we were talking about the fact that we haven't really been on a lot of dates recently. We just haven't had the time.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about like favorite things to do on a date. So Will, our producer, basically put together a bit of a thing to basically see if we are aligned on what our perfect dream date is. And let me know in the comments as you listen along. Let me know in the comments what your ideal dream date is.
So I wrote mine down, but I do feel like we'd be pretty aligned. Like, we do things that's like, the other day we were on the phone while we were both driving separately, obviously, and one of us
I'm on my way home, and we both at the exact same time went on the road again,
and we both started singing.
That is so wild! Exactly the same time. It
keeps happening that we will just say or sing something the exact same. So I kind of feel like we are aligned. But looking at the questions, a bit more in detail than what mine was, but I just need to find it. All right, so the first one is when and where. So what time of year would it be and what location? Well,
3, 2, 1, summer.
Oh, yeah. Do that again. 3, 2, 1, winter.
Summer.
Jokes, no, summer. No, but I didn't think of the weather. I was thinking like just what my favourite.
Well, what did you write down? Help me out here.
Oh no, so I've done like I've done that. My favorite thing would so if I had to plan a day, this is what I've done. So I did that. We'd go for a walk because you and me actually really like to go for a walk.
Wait, what? We're going for a walk?
Yeah, to start our morning off.
Oh, I thought we was going to go for like a full English.
I don't like breakfast.
Wait, I love a full English, right? So I thought you would want to do that.
I love breakfast.
I literally, do you know what? I have like this, I love going for breakfast. More so than I think I even love going for dinner.
All right, maybe you could do that first.
And well, you go for your walk, I'll go for a breakfast.
No, we're going to go for a walk together. Okay? We like going for a walk. That's where we chat the most. We like that. We have a really good...
I do like going for walks with you, but I wouldn't have put it in our... If we had a whole day, I wouldn't want to waste time going for a walk.
No, so I did a walk to the cinema.
In the morning? Are we not starting at the beginning of the day?
Well, maybe we're just...
So we're going for a morning cinema session.
My day would be we go for a walk to the cinema because and then we get to the cinema around lunchtime, so maybe that's where not early morning, so we can have your breakfast.
Okay, thank you.
Right, we'll have your breakfast.
Now we're aligned.
You're happy. Then we go for a walk to the cinema, which we've done before. It was about an hour walk, but it was really nice. We spoke loads. Go to the cinema because I love their buffalo fries at Everyman. Delicious.
Oh my God, my mouth's watering thinking about it. The food at Everyman Cinema is so good.
Just the buffalo fries.
Not just the buffalo fries, but the burgers are so good as well. Like, my mouth's literally watering.
And then we would go then to like...
Wait, what kind of film are we watching?
Whatever's on.
Based on a true story. Love those films.
Yeah, but whatever's on, because sometimes...
Not a chick flick though.
Well, I've done the breakfast for you, so if I want to watch a chick flick, you watch a chick flick for me.
So Sarah's watching a chick flick, I'm napping. We're good, okay?
Anything. Then I would say like we were going to do an activity like pool and arcades because we used to do that a lot and we used to really enjoy that. And fun fact, I always beat Joe at the basketball game. It's the one thing I beat him at. And he devastating hates it because I love it.
Should I tell you why it's so devastating? Basketball is the only sport I ever felt like I was good at because I've never really been into sport, never been into football. Basketball was the only thing. And for some reason in the arcade, I'm now so terrible at that game. And you're so good.
And I love it. So that's what we would go do. Then we would go somewhere for dinner. And then to top it off, we would go home.
Did we not have lunch?
Yeah, at the Everyman.
Oh, we did. Yeah, of course we did. Sorry.
Everyman. Then we're going to have dinner somewhere. And then we'd go home and have Ben and Jerry's in our pajamas to end the night.
Where are we having dinner? What's your favourite place for dinner?
We don't really have a favourite place.
Ivy Asia.
Oh, Ivy Asia would be nice.
Ivy Asia is so good.
You actually really like the Ivy Asia. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ben and Jerry's. Oh my God, we are literally obsessed.
Yeah, because I feel like the Ivy Asia doesn't have great puddings, so that's why it's good to then go home, get our pajamas, and eat. Yeah, see.
We should do that. Let's book that in. Book it in now. That is a good day out.
It is, isn't it?
Should we do that, guys? We won't be on the podcast next week because we'll be out doing that.
Wait, what's yours though? What would yours
Mine's
be?
that. I was going to say the same.
That's what I had, is like a when, where, morning, afternoon, evening.
Genuinely, I was going to say cinema, Everyman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was also going to say...
And you might stay awake for the movie. That's why else I put it at lunchtime. Because you always fall asleep when we go in the evening. But if it's lunch, you might actually stay awake and watch the movie.
Or only sleep through half of it.
Yeah.
So I was going to say like arcade. Because do you remember when we done a date before for like our anniversary, and I planned it and we went to that games place?
It was really fun.
I love that. I love an activity, or like, you know, like the crazy golf and stuff.
Yeah, they're good. The putt shacks and stuff. Yeah. They're good.
So yeah, we are aligned, other than the whole breakfast walk thing. We got off to a rough start, but we made it.
Yeah, but it's nice. The walk is nice.
I agree. As long as we've had
the reason I put the walk in is because that's our time to talk, because we always enjoy that time. So with the arcades and stuff, we're messing around, but we're not actually talking. Like, as in...
You're just cussing me out and making fun of me because I'm really rubbish at basketball. Making me feel like less than
A fun fact, one day, it was hilarious. We'd gone to TGI Fridays. I think we must have just had, not long had Casey or Grace, or...
It was Grace.
It was Grace. Yeah. And I lifted up the menu having a look, and I lifted it and I went, Bibbo, to Joel.
Yeah, just the two of us. I was like, you have been around the kids way too long. You forgot how to have a date with your other half, playing Bibbo with me.
We found that hilarious.
She did make me giggle, so she kept doing it.
It did.
So obviously the new series of Locked In would have started. When we're filming this, it hasn't started. So we haven't seen it yet. Are you going to watch it? I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
But I'd not heard of it before until Casey went on. But it's something that I did actually really enjoy watching. So I actually might watch it.
I think I will watch it, actually, because I hadn't watched it before Casey was on it either.
Yeah.
So...
And I think as well, like it's a nicer way like, it's not like Big Brother where they were up for drama and making people look like...
They don't, like, first time, don't stir the pot.
Yeah, so
they don't set people up. Like, they don't...
I do like that.
See, I like a bit more drama. I want there to be a few more arguments. It's like entertaining. So anyway, the lineup, right? I'm going to read the lineup. Sarah's probably not going to have any clue. To be fair, there's
no disrespect though. I don't want people to take that like...
No, Sarah doesn't really know. To be fair, I actually am not aware of everyone. So we've got Pieface, Adiola, Mia Mon, Jack Joseph, Heather Bolin, Scouse Malley, and Taze. So of that lineup, know who Pieface, Jack Joseph, Heather Bolin, and Taze is. I can't say that I know the others, but
excited to watch it.
Yeah, excited to watch it and see what they're all about.
And their characters.
I think that's the great thing about Locked In as well. Like it does bring so much exposure to people. Do you think they're thinking
like Casey set us up to fail because she gave the £10,000 to my nan and granddad?
Yeah, pressure's
so it's
on.
like, damn, if I take this, I
got to give it to someone else. So in that, obviously, so the only person I think you know out of those lot is Hev Bolin, right?
Yeah.
Which we met her in Ibiza. What's it called?
Trip.
No, what's that place called? Ocean Beach. That's it. O Beach. Yeah, we met her at O Beach. She's really lovely. I really like her. I think she's going to do well.
She's really lovely.
I think she's going to do really well.
I was watching her where she was on a podcast.
I think she's going to win it.
So
I'm just
funny.
going to say that now. I think she's going to win it.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
Well, I can't judge because I don't know. Like until I watch it, I don't know anyone else's characters to know.
Yeah, I don't know everyone's character yet. I just have a feeling.
Oh, okay, fine. But I was going to say, I was watching a podcast with her on, and she was saying about how, like Casey, we were obviously on a brand trip, so we were filming, and we've interviewed her.
It was the first time
I didn't realise it, and she didn't come across like it, but she was actually really drunk. So she said the next day she had like anxiety of like watching it back, seeing herself like.
But do you know, because it was the first time we'd all met her, and she said that she'd used Soulskin, and she was basically raving about it. So we were like, obviously we're on a social media trip trying to promote Soulskin. So he was like, oh, quick, grab the camera, grab the mic, like say what you just said, but say it on camera.
Because that is the thing with like the products, is like people need to try it to know, and then having people say that it's good. We can say it's good, but you need others to be like.
Especially when you get like, obviously, brands work with influencers and they're paid to say blah blah blah, but when you find people and it's like They just genuinely, and it's not even on camera. And then you're like, oh no, but like, if
Can
you could
just
say
get that on camera?
I was randomly, I was talking to someone because we're recruiting at the moment for an MD role for DadVGirls, which is really exciting. I'm actually
excited.
genuinely
I
so
feel
excited.
like it's just what we need, like, right time, right, So
I was talking to a recruiter the other day who is also, who is like, I'm friends with her husband, but we're not like super close. It's not like someone that I speak to hardly ever, but she's also a recruiter. And I was talking to her about a few things. And I was saying about Solskin, and she was like, oh yeah, I love Solskin. I wear it all the time. I was like, oh, I didn't even know, I had no idea you even had it. And she was like raving about it on the phone, because I was like, well, how is it? I always ask people because I want good, bad feedback, whatever. And she was just like raving about it. She said as well, she's making me laugh. She's like, I know it sounds really weird, but she's like, it's the only tan that I've used. Like when you put it on, she's like, and then say you go for a wee in the middle of the night, she's like, it doesn't stain the toilet seat.
Yeah.
Because it hardly transfers to the sheets. That isn't even like a thing that we were like trying to come up with when we made the formula.
Yeah. It just so happened. And
with it being for sensitive skin and the formula being different to like other brands, it just some reason it doesn't really transfer onto your sheets as much. So
same with like our debut, like our daily, our athleisure, like we have really pushed for feedback of like, we think it's great, but there's always learnings and we always want to better anything. So we've asked people, like people that wear those sort of clothes all the time, like feedback. What do you think? How do you feel? Like, would you choose this over this? Would you do this?
Because in my mind, it's so weird, but even though like we work really hard on things and try and make them really good, in my mind, this is just how I've always been with anything I work on. I always feel like it's not good enough. And
you do that with the pods.
I do that with everything. It's so bad.
Once we film this and you walk away, you'll be thinking it's really bad.
No, I actually think it's really good. I think it's going well. I think general
in the moment
like
you
right
do.
Now, no,
in the moment, but
I think yeah. So anyway, there's a girl that works for us, not in DadVGirls, different part of the business, and she's always in activewear. She lives in it. So I was literally like, I got her a set and I was like, I want you to wear this and I want you to give me brutal, honest feedback. I want you to tell me everything that you hate about it.
Yeah.
She's like, I love it. She's like, literally, there was like a couple of tiny little amends that she said.
And we'd already
picked up on them.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so it is actually good. And then I saw her wearing it again and again. So I was like, okay, she actually genuinely does love it.
Yes.
So
no, it's good. It's very good.
So obviously on the show we do dilemmas, but before we get into the official dilemmas that we have planned for today, I've seen a few messages in my inbox on Instagram of parents asking for advice around phones, social media, and specifically Snapchat. Like what age did we give the girls phones? What age did we let them on Snapchat? And what age do we think is appropriate? I actually thought it was like a really good topic because one of the things is, like, this one parent was asking me like, saying that her daughter was saying that all her friends are on Snapchat and she's not allowed Snapchat. The thing is with Snapchat that a lot of parents don't really realize, is how kids communicate.
Yeah.
They do not use WhatsApp. They don't use iMessage. They don't call each other.
And you was going to ask about age. I was like, it's really hard now because in the beginning with Casey, we was really strict. She can't have Instagram. She can't have Snapchat, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I changed my mindset of understanding, like what you said, that all children now, they communicate through Snapchat. I've been outside someone's house dropping Casey or Grace, I can't remember which one. And I'll be like, can you call them? Like, and she's like, oh, I don't have their number. It's all through Snapchat. So when you change your way of thinking of seeing Snapchat so bad as an app, it is genuinely the way children communicate now.
It's like them having WhatsApp. But if they're not on Snapchat and all their friends are on there, socially, they can be missing out. Yeah. But that doesn't mean to say that there aren't potential risks with having Snapchat.
So they should only be friends with their friends. That would be like have a private account. So firstly, make sure they've got a private account. It's making sure you understand the app and you use it safely. So private accounts, and constantly speak with them or check in with them, because you can send a message and it can be deleted straight away. So it hasn't, touch wood, it hasn't affected us, but I know that there can be some form of bullying on there, because you can open it and it's disappeared as if it never happened. So that communication of just making sure that your child is able to tell you if that's happened, or so they can screenshot if it happens and just come to, it's those sort of things. It's trying to...
Yeah. Because the thing is that with Casey, she was like one of the last in her class to have a phone, to have social media. And I was like, back then we weren't really on, like, we weren't like in social media. And I was just like, oh, you know, like the longer you can just remain a kid, like once you've got social media, you've got it for life. So the longer you can just be a kid and not have
But these kids
to deal with all of that.
There, and that's part of.
But then when I realized, oh, like Snapchat is like, you know, you're kind of missing out socially by not being on it. And we let her have it. But I think as well, like with a phone, I mean,
well, my girls,
what would you say the latest, right? The latest that a kid should have a phone?
So it comes down to safety. Like my girls traveling to and from, I think it actually started, I think it was towards the end, I think it was year 6 for Casey. She got a phone. And that was because on a Saturday, she would go to like a stagecoach thing. And I just didn't like her being there without her being able to call me if she wanted to come home because it's a long time. You know, like, so she had...
Because every kid by year 7 surely has a phone, right?
But year 7, they're walking to and from school. Like,
that's what I was going to say. It's like a safety thing. I don't want my kid out the house without me.
Yeah.
They don't have a phone. So I would say, I'd say like year 6 really should be like, should have a phone in year 6.
And year 7 as well. It's like, that's when they start communicating with their own friends to make plans. You're not speaking to so-and-so's mum, whereas you do in primary school. So definitely, whether that's by the end of year 6 or start of year 7, my point would be for safety and the communication.
I think as long as you're having like these conversations with your child, as long as your child can show that they can be trusted, then, you know, it's kind of like that's the right age. But every kid's different. So. But yeah.
Well, we've even said before we let Sophie have a phone because we thought it was an escape or she loved taking photos. Well, we gave it to her. It actually didn't work out well. We've taken it back off her. We did it too early. We've learned, and she's absolutely fine. Like she doesn't.
Yeah, Sophie had a phone more like because
because it didn't. She
used to calm. Well, we thought like it was calming her down because you know sometimes she gets stressed out and then she'd have the phone. It'd calm her down certain situations, distract her. But then we realised that it's actually making. Then when she come off the phone, she was like an angry little lady. So we were like, okay, this is kind of like a double-edged sword. So she doesn't have a phone.
So
not because she can't be trusted. She wasn't posting like crazy memes on her Snapchat or anything like that.
No, I mean, she posted my boobs.
Yeah, she leaked your nudes. But we did talk about that before.
Anyway, let's go on to an actual dilemma.
Okay, so this says, I'm currently at uni, and while I was pre-drinking with some of my friends before a night out, this other group of people turned up with one of my friends who were from a rival university. A rival university?
Oh, I didn't know this was a thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. This sounds like something out of High School Musical. Like,
it's like
what is it?
Dance off. Like, what are they called? What are they called?
I don't know. What are you doing? I thought you were swatting flies.
That dance, like they
stomp.
Yeah, like it's not called a stomp, though, is it? It's called.
I don't know what she's doing. Let's just get back to it because I don't know what's going on.
You know what I mean.
So.
Watch too many movies.
Who were from a rival university, which is in the same city. But because we were all drunk, we didn't care and we welcomed them in. Next morning, I went out of my room to see that at some point in the night, they had taken a bottle of gone off milk and thrown it all around the kitchen, and then taken some of my eggs and smashed them all around the flat, including all of our cupboards and my bathroom. We didn't notice this in the night, again, because we were all drunk. So we found out the next morning, got our revenge by egging them. Go on, lad. Go on. But accidentally ended up cracking one of their heads open. What? And they had to go home. Our uni found out about this and we were all on warnings, but they faced no consequences. Who is in the wrong here? Are you throwing hard-boiled eggs?
Yeah,
like what kind of? How are you cracking someone's head open?
I told you
in
our last episode when you talked about egging that they're hard.
No, you must have an absolute throat. What they must be on the shot put team or something at the university. Like that's crazy. Okay,
but firstly, like,
let me just unpack this a little bit.
Can you definitely say it was them? Because if you're all drunk and you don't even know it happened,
they're from a rival university.
They were all having a great time.
But if you've got your close friends, then you've got randoms that you've invited in, and all of a sudden all this crazy stuff happened. Of course.
Listen, one time I got carried away and threw a burger at the wall in my own house. I was really annoyed with myself.
Why did you? When? What? When did you do this?
In that when we just had Casey and Grace, you were cooking a barbecue and I threw it and it just like.
Okay, that's strange. So, So this reminds me, I was at a party once. This is out of order. So I can relate to both sides of this argument. I was at this party with my friends. I didn't actually know the person whose party it was. And we had like KFC chicken and we chucked loads of it behind. There was like this really, really big, like antique kind of like display cabinet, something that you know is never going to get moved in a million years. Yeah.
See,
we chucked all this chicken behind it and you couldn't get to the back of it.
Why did you?
So we, in our minds, we're like, in like 2 weeks, like this thing is going to be like stinking, and we were just like really cracking up at the thought of them not knowing where the smell's coming from. It's terrible. But I was only young.
Feral. You're like Grace's feral. Well, actually, you're worse.
Yeah, no, I was bad. It's just it's a little bit harmless though.
No,
it's not hurting anyone. It's a bit of fun. So anyway, yeah. So obviously they're in the wrong for that. I think getting revenge and egging them is fair play. I think it's very unfortunate that you crack someone's head over. Yeah, that is such a freak accident, right? But yeah, I think you should just call it quits. I think no one should have been in trouble.
It was like one time with Casey. She was at school. Do you remember after COVID, and they all were told to like spray their desks? Well, one girl sprayed her with the antibac, and as a
sprayed who?
Casey with the antibac, like as a joke. So Casey then sprayed it back, but caught someone in the eyes. Well, Casey got in serious trouble for it and was in like detention, was in really bad, and the other girl wasn't. But I'm like, it was just a joke taken a little bit too far. Like they're friends. There was no issue with them. It wasn't like she's got some.
Casey sprayed it in her eyes though. It does. Yeah, that's like intentionally get her,
you know. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's an unfortunate of like
that is so unfortunate.
Sprayed it and it's got her eyes, and now you're in trouble.
So we're doing this thing where we highlight our favorite comments. Okay, so make sure you leave some interesting comments, and we might just pick yours. This is the one from this week. Seeing if Joel will or won't be wearing his cap in the thumbnail every week is so entertaining for me.
I feel like surely they're all with a cap on, right?
No, in the beginning when we were filming the pod, I kept making an effort not to wear a hat.
I did think this on the way here. No, I used to make such an effort in the beginning and dress nicely. I'm now in a tracksuit that like...
But the thing is as well, right? We often film double episodes. We film 2 episodes on the same day. In the beginning, we would take our outfits. We'd have whole outfits planned on hangers. We were like, we're going to change into this, change into that. So we just filmed a previous episode just before this one.
All right, I took my jumper off.
And I took my jumper off. So if you look at the last episode, we are wearing the same thing without our jumpers, right? The effort is so minimal. What is going on? We need stylists. Yeah?
For life.
Yeah, we need wardrobe.
Yeah.
But no, guys, in the beginning, I was like, I'm going to make an effort because I always wear a hat. I was like, I'm going to do my hair. And for the first, I don't know, 30 episodes I did. And then, it's probably not going to be so entertaining for you now because it's probably mostly just going to be
Although you're not, so I'm just going to say you're not, but how funny was Sophie the other day saying to you, oh, you're going bald. You're going bald. Do you remember in the kitchen?
Yeah, and I was like, freaking out. Where? Checking my... I think people assume because I wear a hat that I'm going bald, but it's not. I can never be bothered to do my hair.
No, how savage was she to my mum? She had a sleepover at my mum's. My mum said she turned over, opened her eyes, and Sophie went, morning, chubba chubba. My mom cut deep. I was like, what?
She doesn't mean it like that. She just means it's like an affectionate thing that she says.
Thankfully, when Sophie says it,
like a lollipop, that's a chubba chub.
Yeah, chub chub chub.
Chubba chubba.
But yeah, so when Sophie says it, you can get away with it because you know she's obviously not being malicious. So it comes across cute, but Mom's like, oh, savage.
Do you know what the joke thing is about the comments is I read the comments more than you read the comments, but most of the comments are nice about you.
Oh, that's so why you should start. That's why you chose one about you.
Yeah. Oh, if I want to choose a nice one about Sarah, I've got a pick of many.
Oh, guys, that's so sweet.
You just want to start doing solo pods without me?
I don't know why.
Because you're likable.
But why am I? I don't think I am.
I don't know. I don't think you are. I don't get it. I don't know. Let me dig into the comments, find out what's going on.
Because you see me in jeans and gunge.
Oh God, bloody hell, that would be the thumbnail. Oh no, it'd be me. It would just be me in gunge for some reason.
No, thumbnails actually that we need to get back at you because you did me dirty with thumbnails of the traitor. Like remember we were talking about the traitor video last week. Well, Joel's thumbnail, like I honestly.
So first of all, I do not make the thumbnails.
Well, I'm asking the pod to do you dirty.
But okay, if you saw this on my stories, so a thumbnail was made for the Traitors episode, and there was loads of us in the thumbnail, but I put it on my story, didn't really look individually at everyone. Suddenly I was getting all these messages about you've done Sarah dirty in the thumbnail. I looked at your face. And
my lip had disappeared. I had like my teeth sticking out.
You looked like you were caught in the headlights. People were like, it looks like a mugshot.
Yeah.
So then I basically like zoomed in on it on my stories, and then I was like, oh, okay, like I'll make a new one, and then I basically come back with every single person's face was replaced with yours. So
the thing is, I don't watch these things back, and I like when Joel takes a picture, I just say just make sure it's all right and post it. I don't like looking back. I don't like listening back or watching, and the reason is I think you then start becoming quite critical of yourself. And I don't want to do that. I don't want, like, I'm not a person in everyday life that puts on loads of makeup or where, like, how I am is how I am. And I don't want to then get inside my own head. So like, these pictures, so then when you post it for the world to see on your Instagram,
wow, you're going deep. You're making out like I'm not going to affect your self-worth or something.
No, as in like normally, like, so if you'd posted that, I would never have seen it on your thumbnail. I'm saying I saw it because you put it on your Instagram. I'm on Instagram a lot, like looking at stories. So I'm saying that's why.
Yeah, and then you messaged me like, you're an asshole and I'm going to get you back. I'm going to get the pod thumbnail to do me dirty. I'm like, he does me dirty every week.
Yeah, and it's a now.
And then there was the dino thing, the dino dad thing, right? And we made a joke about it being the thumbnail. And it was the thumbnail. Right, and what you guys don't know is I immediately went into our podcast group and was like, guys, I'm not even joking. Change this immediately. This is so bad. And they were like, but it's like the best performing thumbnail. I'm like, I couldn't care less if it was getting 1 million views a minute. Change it. And then the people who watched it at first saw the Dino Dad thumbnail, and then whoever joined a bit later did not. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, okay, guys.
Anyway, guys, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to that 100K, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday, guys. Bye.
Bye.